Nobody's invincible, no plan is foolproof. We all must meet our
moment of truth. It's your boy Crypto Blood. Welcome to another episode of My Two Satoshis, August 22nd, 2018. Nah, I'm not gonna spit no bars for you. Give a shout out to my man XS Fear. He wanted me to play Gangstar Moment of Truth. He said that 6800 line on Bitcoin is the moment of truth. And ironically enough, this was actually requested. This song request was from a few weeks ago when we were above 6800, and he was talking about that being a moment of truth for support. We all know what happened. We broke down through it. The whole ETF stuff kind of shook everyone as far as it not being on the table, and we went way down, right? 2,000 points in a week or so. But shout out to my man. Ironically enough, last night 6800 was a moment of truth to the upside. We couldn't get past that area. We'll talk about that and what that all means. That's one of the topics that I'm going to be discussing today. Man, that was some whiplashing going on last night. I was actually working on some tweaks to the algorithms, and I actually saw that move happen. Crazy. Very dangerous situation to be in if you're trading. More importantly, if you're trading on margin. We're going to talk about one person that got wrecked from that. It's just unfortunate, and I think personally there was some manipulation going on. We'll talk about the details. When that move up happened, Bitmex, ironically enough, went down for maintenance. So I think personally they may have something to do with it. But others are saying that they were just used as a scapegoat or to be exploited when they went down. So you guys let me know your thoughts when we read this article out of Bitcoin.com that kind of covers that. The second article is about TenX. They are launching and rebranding their cards, and we're going to take a look at that. That caught my attention. I never invested in TenX, but I know many of you did. So I wanted to update you guys about that. But first, let's take a look at that market cap. We're currently at $208 billion. Bitcoin's dominance 53%. If you're just looking at this by itself, looks like nothing happened in the last 24 hours. Nothing at all. We're up 0.15% in the last 24 hours and only up 0.38% in the last 7 days. So we've been treading pretty much where we are for the last 7 days. Ethereum is well below 300. Not looking too good for the others as well. EOS is back under $5. I bought some more around $4.80, something like that. So I'm just dollar cost averaging in. Ethereum Classic getting wrecked with that one. I bought Ethereum Classic at 15, I think, or $17. So I'm gonna have the dollar cost average that in. I thought we would see a pop from the addition of Ethereum Classic on Coinbase. That is officially live, but we didn't see that. I think this bear market is just taking everybody by storm. So let's keep an eye on that, but let's look at this chart, people. Look at that. This move up, I was actually, and it was funny because I was fixing a bug that would have resulted in me getting in long. Well, I actually went long with the algorithms on Bitcoin around right here where my crosshairs are. But there was a bug that pretty much closed those positions. So I was in the middle of last night fixing that when that move up happened. So unfortunately I did not catch it, but next time, anytime we have a buy signal like that, I'll be able to take advantage of that full move up. But look at that. Now I just want to point out really quickly, because it looks like it's a huge move, right? But if we take a look at some of these other Bart Simpson moves, if you want to call them, if I just pull out the ruler and do a little measurement here, it's about 365 basis points up on that one. And it's not actually uncommon to see this move happen in Bitcoin. What's uncommon, if I'm just going to measure this one, it's about 360 basis points to the upside, and then we went the other way. We kind of traversed all of that pop, but that's not the issue. The issue is Bitmex went offline right before this pop happened. If I'm short the markets on Bitmex, and it goes offline. Well, when they come back online, my stop loss, normally you trade on leverage with stop losses, right? Your stop loss would have never been triggered because it would have been a price gap between, you know, where they went offline and where they came back online. So it would have skipped your stop loss, and also it would have skipped your margin if you had a margin call level set as well as a kind of a safety net, that fail safe. It would have skipped that as well and would have executed well above your margin call levels, which man, would wreck people. That's why you have to be very careful and not overtrade. I know it's tempting to when you have leverage, but you don't want to overtrade your accounts on leverage, and keep it to 10 to 15%, 20 max if you're being aggressive per trade. So let's look at, I have an actual image of a person that talked about this very thing. This happened last night, this post. Bitcoin manipulation. Bitcoin price just jumped from 6450 to 6800 in a matter of minutes, and this was a complete manipulated move. She shows here shorts were stacked at all-time high. She shows a chart to that. And then she says Bitmex, a leveraged cryptocurrency trading platform, went offline for scheduled maintenance at 100 UTC. Wells saw the opportunity and put $150 million of tether into Bitfinex minutes before this maintenance to pump the markets, hoping to squeeze all the tasty shorts. The shorts, of course, because the exchange is down, are unable to close their positions and have to face being liquidated or get stopped out when the exchange comes back on. I unfortunately had a short open before the maintenance at 64.56. As you can see in the photo attached, my stop loss at 65.04 did not trigger until the price pumped all the way up to 69.20. When it triggered at that price, I was at an even steeper loss. I hope my loss can be a lesson for you all, as this shows how manipulated the cryptocurrency market can be, especially if you are margin trading with leverage. Wow, that's horrible, and I can't really show it because it kind of clips it off. But let me see if I can extend this really quickly. She attached her order or whatever. It doesn't really matter to see it, but that's what she had open. And I'm gonna be honest with you, this type of behavior, I don't really care about ETFs, to be honest with you, being passed or not being passed. I know it will be a bullish move for the market, but I told you guys and have been telling you since I started this channel, I am not for the ETFs and all of that stuff, but I know it's coming, so I have to cover it and report on this stuff. But this is not a good case for those that want the ETF to be passed. Definitely not. It doesn't show well. The ones on the SEC side talking about manipulation, it really proves their point, to be honest with you. So I don't know how that's going to pan out and how that's going to play with their decisions coming up. I think we should have a decision for the ProShares ETF by the SEC today, I believe. We've fully traversed all of that pop, and I really, you know, something's fishy going on with this particular one. The percentage wise, that move isn't out of the ordinary for a pop, but the timing of maintenance and having the pop happen really, to me, just doesn't look right. It looks like something suspicious going on. So let's go ahead and talk about this in more detail. The article is out of Bitcoin.com. It says here, theories abound after BTC leaps while Bitmex is down. It's been an interesting 12 hours for Bitcoin, with the cryptocurrency finally breaking through resistant levels. Most of the drama took place within the space of just a few minutes, when Bitcoin gained 400 without blinking. It is no coincidence, however, that the event took place just as the popular cryptocurrency exchange Bitmex went offline. The experience has left traders crying foul and caused wild conspiracy theories to circulate. It says here, Bitcoin breaks through resistance while Bitmex smolders. Shortly after 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 21st of August, Bitcoin broke out of the resistance range it had been trapped in for weeks, climbing to 6,800. Traders had despaired of Bitcoin escaping that 6,600 range it had been bouncing around in without the aid of a major exogenous event such as ETF news. In the end, it was something that ought to have been a minor event that triggered the breakout. And I just want to say this really quickly before we continue on. You know, I was talking to the guys in the trading room about this. Like normally, and I was ended up being wrong about this, but normally you'll have, even if it's a artificial bump like we saw where we broke above the 6,600 area, even if it was artificial, it did technically break some of those indications technically that traders were looking for. So we broke out of the channel, or we broke above that 6,600 area. It would be a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? The rest of the market would carry on and continue that move up. However, I was wrong, and it ended up reversing that whole pop and really screwed over a lot of people who were trading. I'll tell you that. We hit that. I have a dotted line here, as you can see. We hit the previous support area in this range, and that's why I had that dotted line drawn there, so we have a reference as well. But if this move was organic, then I think we would have blown through this previous support and gone directly for a point to score at 7,300. But because this was not organic, something fishy was going on here, we failed, and people either took profits here or shorted here at this previous support area. So the article goes on to say here, Bitmex, which had been scheduled to go offline for maintenance at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for 30 minutes, reopened on time in cancel-only mode. It immediately became clear that something wasn't right, prompting the exchange to tweet, "Some users are reporting difficulty in logging in." Trading remained canceled until 10 p.m. with Bitmex attributing the extended downtime to a DDoS attack. Some traders weren't buying it though. So in the aftermath of the REKning, conspiracy theories were in plentiful supply, with some even accusing Bitmex of deliberately keeping its platform offline in order to profit. There is no evidence to support such an allegation, but that hasn't stopped speculation from mounting that this was an inside job. To critics, it's further evidence of Bitcoin manipulation and another example of why margin trading is dangerous. If one platform gets to call the shots, or rather the shorts, and stands to profit from disrupting its own service, it has no incentive to act ethically, critics claim. This one guy says, "Thank you, Bitmex. I lost 60% of my balance. Thank you." Wow. A less controversial explanation is that Bitmex was genuinely the target of a DDoS attack by an unknown third party seeking to manipulate the market. If that was the case, they were certainly successful and are likely to have profited handsomely off of the attack. So the article goes on to ask, what next? As whatever the outcome of the ETF decision, the market is surely to move violently. Ironically, incidents such as that which occurred on Bitmex could be the catalyst for the SEC denying an ETF on the grounds that Bitcoin is too prone to manipulation. With the number of Bitcoin shorts nearing at a record high, there is also the possibility of a short squeeze occurring as traders are forced to buy more Bitcoin to cover their positions. The last time this occurred, on April 12th, Bitcoin leaped almost $1,000 in a day. And I talked about this yesterday, me envisioning a 1,000-point move like we had in April, but that would have been off of an organic pop, not this manipulated pop that we had. So what do you guys think? Do you think Bitmex was the victim of a DDoS attack, or do you think the market manipulation was something they had something to do with? I don't know. It's really hard to say. You know, we probably will never know, but initially this was my gut feeling initially when I saw that. I said Bitmex needs to go out into the open market and buy some Bitcoin to rebalance their books internally. Maybe they didn't have enough Bitcoin to cover the shorts or the longs they had on the table. So that was my initial thought. However, I don't have any evidence. I'm not accusing them of any manipulation, but surely something happened, whether it was Bitmex or some other third party that just took advantage of them being down. I don't know. You guys let me know your thoughts on that, but very wild days that we had in the last 24 hours. Let's check out this second one. This is out of Invest in Blockchain, and this is about TenX. TenX unveils new branding and debit card design. TenX mission is to bring cryptocurrency to as many people as possible all over the world. This Singapore-based blockchain project has been striving to make cryptocurrencies instantly spendable anytime, anywhere. In order to move closer toward their goals of crypto inclusivity, TenX unveiled a facelift to their branding design earlier this month. Even better, after a long wait that had their community experiencing quite a bit of FUD, the team has finally released the final design of their debit card to the public. So they've also updated their color palette, it looks like, as well. In the TenX blog post unveiling the new brand design, the team explains how they have gone from a small startup in 2015 to an established company with over 70 members today. So here's their final design here. Doesn't look bad. See, they have the near field capabilities for tapping and instead of swiping your debit card. TenX fans have been awaiting for the issuance of their cards they purchased up to more than a year ago. The team has been saying the card will come out soon for months, with no more info being disclosed. This has caused a lot of uncertainty and anxiety with the TenX community, with many losing all hope that the company would ever deliver on their promises. But on August 19th, TenX finally came through with an update to quell some of their fans' fears. The team must now go through a testing phase before they can ship their cards out. The TenX community must wait a bit longer. How long is anyone's guess, but at least there is proof that the team is making progress and moving forward. I must say here, man, and again, I hate to harp on Centra, but you take TenX, right? They're just now getting the card out, right? It's been a year and some change. Central was able to get a card, a partnership with a bank, issue cards, and do all that within like 3 months, 4 months. So just kind of keeping that in your ear. Centra really did make some progress. It's unfortunate what happened to them. Now, I will say Phantom is taking over the Centra project, phantom.org. Check them out, guys. So the new CTR platform will be running on the Phantom blockchain. So this is going to be cool, and they have a card coming out on that platform. So I'm excited. This is what I'll be using, and I can't wait to be able to use it. So we'll have to wait and see when this gets ready to launch. Those who hold CTR will get, I think, 2 times the amount of Phantom tokens, and I think that's still available. You have to check their Medium posts or their website for details about how that's going to go down. I don't know, man. That's a long time, TenX, just to finally get a card, physical card out. You know, I mean, we could see maybe another 6 to 8 months of delays here. Really quickly before we wrap up, I am curious to see what TenX market cap is. So looks like their market cap is currently 62 million, and if we go back a year, I think they were at $10 or $5. Okay, $5. Thought I saw them higher than that at some point. I did. They were at $32. Now 50 cents. So hey, I mean, you know, if you weren't in it, maybe it's not a bad time to purchase some of these tokens. I don't know. Maybe. You guys give me your thoughts on TenX. Were you a holder of it? I know a lot of people in the Webbot room community that they were definitely on board with the TenX. I just never got any. I decided to go with CTR, and we see what happened with that. So I've made some money off CTR though, so it's not like it was a wash. You guys let me know your thoughts on that. And make sure you guys like and subscribe, and also click that bell if you do subscribe. That will ensure that you are alerted for every video that I put up. All right, that's pretty much it for today, August 22nd, 2018, and we out of here. Holla.
And now some scandalous motherfuckers wanna take what's mine, but they can't take the respect that I've earned in my life.